What's going on, guys? We got an unconventional video coming to you today. I don't have my camera equipment because we're going to a 2-star Michelin restaurant. I don't want to bring a camera in there and cause a bunch of commotion. So we're on the phone today. So what we're gonna do is gonna go up in there, get some good footage, and I'm gonna deliver it, I'm gonna voice over it, because when you go to places like this, you want to kind of enjoy the meal and not just sit there with a camera in your face the whole time. So cheers. I guess we can start it first. Woo! So here we are back in the hotel here. Berlin, Germany was absolutely amazing. And I love going to Michelin star restaurants in Europe because they're typically a little cheaper. Taxes are included in the final price and the tip is sort of included as well. But you don't have to tip 20% on top of a $300, $400, $500, $600, $700 bill. And you know, it's out of control. So my wife did meet me in Berlin for about a week or so, and we decided on Facil, 2 Michelin stars. Very excited. So yes, it's inside the Mandela Hotel, and I forget which floor it's on, whatever floor. You go in, you're greeted by a beautiful cemetery. As you look right toward the entrance, it's gorgeous. It's a little hill. You walk up and the door slides open, and the host is up there waiting for you. Gorgeous. Even the bathrooms are beautiful. Like the walls were not like, I guess they were real walls, but they were like strings. Like when you walk through like I would say a gypsy's house, like little beads, a hipster's house. The beads you walk through, they're really small ones all over the place. So Facil, the word Facil translates from Spanish to English as simple, easy, or ready. I'm not sure if that's what the chef Michael Kempf was going for, but he executed very well. I gotta tell you a little bit about him now. So the chef completed his training at the Romantic Hotel inside the Kleber Post restaurant in a city called Bad Sauglau. I'll put it at the bottom of the screen here. It's a small city in southern Germany. But in this restaurant is where he learned to perfect his dishes before moving on to the Fischersucht restaurant in Schaffhausen, which is a city just north of Zurich, Switzerland. There he rose to, I think pronounce this correctly, it's a French term, it's spelled gardenmanger, but it's pronounced garde-manger, and it refers to the chef who was responsible for like storing cold foods and preparing cold appetizers and thick charcuteries, cold desserts, things like that. Then he got promoted to entremediaire. It's a chef who prepares vegetable dishes, soups, starches, eggs in a professional kitchen. They're also known as a vegetable chef. And then finally he made it to saucier. And that is the person who puts together the sauces. You know, sauces have to be very well balanced in temperature, specific and things like that. So here's the big news. In 2001, he went to Berkshire Gladbach, these names are really hard for me to pronounce, as a saucier and entremediaire under a 3-star Michelin 3-star chef Dieter Müller at the, again, Scholzel Lebrat. I don't know. Later that year, he opened Facil in Berlin, Germany. So it's been there for a very long time, 24 years. Awesome. And in 2003, the Mandela Hotel won this master a culinary arts award. So congratulations to you for back then. And then he won his first Michelin star at the age of 26. I'm not sure how old he was when he started the restaurant, but that's really young to be getting a star. It's awesome. Followed by Rising Star of the Year, and then a Galt Milo. It's another sort of restaurant rating, I guess, company. They got that in 2008. And finally, he got his second Michelin star in 2013. So we're done with the explanation. Let's get to the food. So the only footage I'm gonna have is of the food. I don't have anything of me. I've sort of inspired this style because of James Andrews. If you don't know who he is, please check out his channel. His channel is absolutely incredible. He lives in New York and does a whole bunch of Michelin star restaurants and fine dining, stuff like that. But it makes it look less invasive and less involved in the stuff I usually do, where I have my camera set up inside the restaurant. So this is much easier for me. So anyway, so starting off, we have the kitchen greetings. So before you even order anything, you know, look at the menu or anything, you're gonna be greeted with 3 things. There was a sturgeon ceviche with like a tiger melt jelly. I have to translate from the voice memo to what I could understand, because there was a language barrier, of course. Then there's a roll that's stuffed with black cabbage along with a little herb mayonnaise. And then there's a taco stuffed with duck, red cabbage, and red carrot. The green seaweed looking thing, which is the roll, was outstanding. Insane, actually. So many fresh flavors. There was a hint of tuna in it. Maybe, I don't think the waiter said there was any fish in it, but it certainly tastes like it. But I got that meaty fishness flavor. It wasn't like ocean watery, but you know what I mean. The sturgeon, a little actual dish thing right here, literally melted in my mouth. It had a whole lot of citrus flavors with a little bit of fish flavor. Very light indeed. It left me practically speechless though, which most of the dishes here did. But my favorite of the 3 kitchen ingredients was the taco. It had so much flavor. It was like one big bite, just packed so much of a punch. It was incredible how they got that much flavor in it. The robust duck flavor was up front and present, almost like a beef flavor even. There was an accompanying twang flavor with it that wasn't citrusy, but quite resembled it. The crunch of the actual taco gave me a nostalgic flavor, like when you're eating Chex Mix and all the little pieces are at the bottom of the bag, and when you tilt it in your mouth, boom, banging. But these are just the kitchen greetings. There's a lot more to come. The second kitchen greeting. A lot of people complain about like, I'm not gonna pay all that money and go and leave hungry. You don't, trust me. Because you have 6, 7, 8 courses that are on the menu. Then you get like an amuse-bouche, which is not even part of the course. Sometimes that's 2 or 3 different things. Then these kitchen greetings, this is 3 or 4 more things. Then the pre-desserts, then Petit Fours. You wanna get in like 13, 14 courses. It's crazy, you always leave full. But anyway, the second kitchen greeting was a salad made of yellow radish with other natural ingredients. I couldn't quite understand the server. I had a voice memo again, but I tried to translate as best as I could. But yes, it was on top was like a mango caviar, which is made of mango puree and agala. I think it's some sort of syrup or something. I'm not quite sure. I even Google filmed me with that one. But doing it with some wasabi cream at the bottom. The salad absolutely blew me away. And naturally, it was smooth, it was creamy, a little bit crunchy. There was some nuts in there as well, but actually helped with the texture of the salad. But again, amazing. And I got like a sushi flavor somehow from a salad. So there were 2 kinds of bread. There was like a white white was a French baguette. Then there was like a rye sourdough. The breads were fine, but the butter was off the chain. So it's from Normandy, part of France, and it's like, look, you can probably see the screen right now, but it's little salt crystals on there, but they give you extra salt in case it's not salty enough, but you did not need it anymore. It was absolutely incredible butter. All right, it's time for the real food. First course is the cabanero. Now this is it's Spanish, but translates to scarlet shrimp. And they're often caught using small fishing boats and nets due to the fact that they reside deep in the ocean depths. This makes the process of fishing them a bit more difficult and dangerous for the fishermen, meaning their supply is a lot more limited and rare and, of course, more expensive. But this is a beautiful dish. It was hit with a blowtorch to help sear the skin a little bit, and then garnished with a chipotle mayonnaise and garlic chips. Served next to it with a tiny mound of fried rice containing carrots, fermented Chinese cabbage, and an egg yolk on top. I was just blown away. It's like a cute little mound right there. I always think I know where to get the best food, and then I come to one of these super pristine places and just get knocked back out of my seat. Like, how do they manage to get so much flavor in these small bites? And how do you squeeze it's like when you're a car manufacturer, you keep squeezing extra horsepower out of this same engine or these turbos. It's insane what these chefs can do back there in the kitchen. But yeah, so the flavors are difficult to explain because they're all executed so well and are so well balanced. Words like wild and crazy and insane are overused in today's society, so I decided to use phenomenal, ridiculous, monumental. The second course was Roderick Sloan scallop. Now this dish was beautifully presented in a tall, like bowl cup like thing, but it's grilled with a Perigord truffle on top with a celery root puree, Joselito ham foam. Like, what are even these ingredients? The scallop was, of course, cooked perfectly, fantastic, and you don't taste truffle like you do with like truffle oil and like fries and things like that. But it was a super fragrant dish. You can smell the truffle, which kind of helps with the flavor because your nose and your mouth are kind of connected. But it had a nice crisp taste to it, and the broth and the foam just left me speechless. Just like the balance of these dishes is just crazy. Like I don't even know how many iterations of it do you have to go back and forth to get this to be this perfect. The third course was an Imperia Caviar White Edition, what it says on the menu. So Imperia is actually a store in Berlin where they purchased the caviar, and the species is actually Osetra. Underneath is a snow crab tartare, then served with a white poppy seed crisp and enoki mushrooms, like tall, lanky, thin ones. Around the rim of the bowl are vegetarian caviar made of seaweed, which is crazy. Seaweed. The dish sounded like it's all over the place, but it was strikingly beautiful. It was delicious, but pretty fishy due to the abundance of caviar. You got a lot of caviar in this one, but not salty, surprisingly. Like it's a very mild caviar. It was soft, subtle, tender, juicy, but it wasn't my favorite dish of the night. The crunch of the crisp certainly helped with adding a crunchy texture that complemented the softer textures of the other elements. But nicely done. I mean, how can you not have caviar at a Michelin Star restaurant? It's kind of like a staple. Moving on to our fourth dish. We're about halfway through now. The Breton monkfish. This comes from their charcoal grill, then glazed with some nut butter. Paired with it was a salad made up of pointy bell peppers, and then chips of those same bell peppers, oyster leaves, and a little bit of extra things. I couldn't quite understand what he was saying, but the dish made a little bit of noise since the dish was like banging against the dish that it was served under, but it's fine. However, it was soft, buttery, and the monkfish certainly exuded the flavors of the things it eats. If you didn't know this, monkfish eat things like lobsters, crabs, shrimp, and other crustaceans, so you get those flavors from eating the monkfish itself. It's well done. Now hear me out. The salad tasted like a margarita pizza. I don't know how. I ain't seen no cheese, tomato sauce. All right, the fifth course now. So this is a vegetarian course. It's kale and Alba truffle. This is kale served with Piedmont truffle. It was a little different than ones we had earlier. They're also known as the Alba truffle, like a white truffle, very rare. And also had this also had Piedmont hazelnuts, and underneath all of that was a pearl barley risotto and a barley foam, which consists of more hazelnuts and truffles. Overload. This smelled out of this world. These flavors are so hard to describe. It's because they're just so balanced. And you get a little bit of this, a little bit of that. It's not like a really strong any flavor. But they go so far beyond your mainstream fine dining places like Ruth's Chris and Capitol Grill and Morton's and the like. You know, granted, those are more straightforward steakhouses specializing in cuts of beef, so they kind of master that one thing. But a Michelin Star restaurant, you have to master many things to be able to be, you know, considered for these gracious stars. But yes, so the smell of the dish was a lot stronger than the taste. So the truffle flavors were actually very light, and again, I got that crispiness and that flakiness from the actual shaved truffle that was on there, and the risotto was cooked perfectly, gave it a nice filling texture to help with the crispness of the truffle. But again, fantastic. And of course, kale is a little bit bitter, so you had a little bit of that on there, but yeah, nice job, guys. We are now at the main courses. There are two of them. So the first one's going to be a bison fillet, and it says stroganoff in like brackets next to it. So this bison fillet comes from Canada, and on top of the fillet are fine lines of sour cream. Okay. And accompanying the dish is a slice of chicory served with the lemon glaze. On top of that are rice pearls and slivers of pistachios. Underneath all of that, somehow, is a sunroot cream, which also goes by the name Jerusalem artichoke. There's also fargois. How is all this stuff in there? Then I was told in order to make it a stroganoff, our waiter, I believe his name is Chris, he poured a hearty beef au jus made up of a red beetroot, salt, lemon, and pickles all over the meat section here. So much in this dish to unpack. And the filet was so tender, but it could have been served hotter, a little warmer. The au jus was bold and it complemented the steak very well. I just thought this dish was too complicated and too over the top with too much going on for it to be like a steak dish. You know, I'm not a Michelin Star level chef. I definitely don't cook to this extent. I couldn't quite understand what the chef was trying to do. Again, the dish was great. It tasted amazing. it didn't knock my socks off because there was so much going on with it. Our second main course is a veal cheek. Yeah, baby cow, then the cheek of that cow from Salzburger lamb. So the veal cheek is served on top of a bed of creamed potato, a foam of Kempf, then served with a Tahiti vanilla sauce. Some of the ingredients I couldn't understand due to the language barrier, but with how complex this dish sounded, I had a fear of it falling a little flat just like the last one. However, it was super soft, super tender, and when you cut into the dish, the aromatics of the vanilla fill your nostrils. Nice job. And I was right. There was just too much going on for my little taste buds to handle. Don't get me wrong, this was a delicious dish, but there was just so many flavors mixing, mingling, and fighting for your attention the whole time. So it was hard to focus on just one, but it's best to mix everything together to make it like an actual like stew and then eat it. That way the flavors even blended more seamlessly together. We have now made it to the pre-dessert dish. Now if you're unfamiliar with pre-desserts, before the dessert you have like a smaller dessert that is supposed to get your taste buds ready from transitioning from all the savory to the sweet. That's what the pre-dessert is. So this one here was a gorgeous dish containing what looks like an enormous hazelnut, but it's made of chocolate, and inside is a chocolate mousse and a compote on the inside. And on the side is a hazelnut crumble with a Kempf jelly, fruit caviar, and small pieces of yuzu, which is kind of like a lemon sort of thing. These flavors sounded all over the place, but they were more contained than I had predicted and than the last couple of dishes. And I really liked it. It's a very fun dish to eat. The smash, the hazelnut, stuff goes everywhere. It's a good time. I really enjoyed it. And finally, well, there's more, but we have come to the dessert, and it's the absolutely most beautiful dish of the evening. I think it's their signature dish. It doesn't really leave. It's like a pear garden. It's like a pear and a whole bunch of stuff all over the place. I won't even bother trying to explain these flavors to you because they are literally all over the place. You kind of eat these things separately. You don't eat them together like the last few of the dishes. But again, an absolutely phenomenal dish, a masterpiece of sorts. And last but not least is the Petit Four, which is like usually four, this little bites. It's kind of like the amuse-bouche, but the end. So it's like four small bite-sized desserts or whatever. But there was a ganache cupcakes, well, a ganache cupcake, then a lychee grapefruit sorbet, like rolled up, it's a little bitter, chocolate truffle with Bailey's in it, and a bergamot vanilla tart. Just outstanding food. The food was absolutely incredible here at Facil. Would I go back again? I think I would. However, I did do the wine pairing. I believe this is like €110 per person. It's not worth it in my opinion. Yes, I do consider myself to have a pretty good palate as far as like eating, but for wine, I don't have it. I don't quite understand why this wine needs to go with this thing. I understand beef goes with red meat and seafood and chicken goes with, beef and like duck and stuff and go with red wine, but why does white wine go with chicken and seafood and things? I understand that, but like when you get to the specifics of like this Riesling from this region of Germany goes with this mugfish over here, like I don't understand that. So I think it's better off you just buy a bottle or two. You know, you could probably get a bottle or two for like 50, 60 euro a piece. You and your partner both have a bottle of wine you can drink on, and you only spend 120 euro compared to 220 euro, you know, for a wine that you may not even really appreciate. So going forward, I don't think I'm going to do a lot more wine pairings. I'm just going to stick to what I like and what I know, because this makes more sense. It's a little cheaper. This dinner did cost me about 900 euro, because that includes, so they got us in the beginning. So when you first sit down, they're like, some champagne, and you're like, is this included? But you don't want to sound broke. You want to ask, how much is it? So yes, 2 champagnes we had, 23 euro piece. That's 46 euro right there off the bat. We ain't even done nothing. We ain't even got the kitchen greetings yet. So decline the champagne because they're gonna charge you for it because you have no idea how much it costs. That's 46 euro right there, and I believe the pairing itself was 240. Let me check. Let me look real quick. Okay, I'm back. So the 8. So you can do a 5, 6, 7, or 8 courses. 5 courses, 235 euros. 6 is 258. 7 is 278, and 8 is 295 euro. That is per person. It's a little more than $600 for 2 people to eat here if we do the whole shebang. I don't want to go to these kind of restaurants and not do the whole shebang. I want to experience everything they have to offer. Wine pairing, it's 134 euro. Again, that's 270, pretty much 270 euro on top of the 600. You're already at 800 some euro. You're already there. Add the damn champagne, 900 euro. This is not the most expensive dinner I've had at a Michelin star restaurant. There's one in Paris I did. There's a reel on it. But but would I go back and pay the 300 for the 8 courses? Absolutely I would. I would just get my own wine. Because this is an experience. That's the thing about Michelin star restaurant. These tasting menus, they're experiences. They walk you through. It's like a journey. That's what these menus are about. They take you through a journey through the chef's mind and what the chef wants to show you. And it's absolutely beautiful. But that was my experience at Facil in Berlin, Germany. I highly recommend checking this place out. It was wonderful. The staff were amazing. Of course, the ambiance is amazing. In the summertime, when it's like really light and bright outside, you can see right out the back in the little lagoon, whatever, back there. It's gorgeous. I can't say enough good things about this place. I really enjoyed myself. If you are in the area looking for an exquisite meal, check this place out. But remember, guys, like the video if you made it this far. I appreciate it. This is a different style I'm trying to incorporate because I want to be able to showcase these kind of restaurants too on my channel, but it's a little hard to have a camera in there because there are people in there like on like anniversary dates and like celebrating really big things in there. I'm just in here with a camera. Like, it's not cool. So I'm gonna start doing things like this. And I've got another shout out to James Andrews. I'm gonna kind of bite your style just a little bit, see how it works for me. So this is the first of that. I did have a 10 experiences video I did very similarly in Cozumel, Mexico, and that was fun. I probably should link that. But all right, guys, take care. There's never an empty tank or empty stomach on this road. We're still marching toward 10,000 subscribers. Take care, guys. Stay safe. Thank you. And drop a comment below. What did you think of this style? Is it boring? Is it, is it entertaining? Like, how can I improve this style? Or do you just like when I have the camera in the restaurant? Let me know. Thanks, guys.